Hello everybody out there in YouTube land, Noodle here, and we're back. We're back in Testificadia. Sorry about the sudden break in my fucking signing off yesterday. Yeah, my computer was just like, whoa, you're trying to finish this video? How about we just restart the computer? Damn it, I hate this fucking computer so much. I don't mean that. I like my computer. It's just that it won't stop doing automatic updates and it just gets very annoying. And yes, I am aware that there's a way to turn that shit off. I'm just really lazy if you haven't noticed that. So yes, we have gunpowder too. Yay. Okay, so back what I was going to say. Now we're going to continue our stories. Let me just go ahead and collect as much stone as we can. Oh, before we do that, let's go get sand. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, yes, we were leaving the story off, and I was just studying the Norse religion. Now. Many of you may or may not know that the Norse mythology is originally named the Asatru. Asatru? Don't get mad at me. I'm American. I don't know how to pronounce anything. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. And it is the I forgot about this place. This place is a wonderful magical place. What was I saying? Looking for more sand. I would collect that there, but it's not a lot. So let's continue. We're gonna keep running this way. Maybe we'll find some more sand somewhere. We have the whole day and 18 more minutes. Okay, so they were the Asatru, and they're actually what I found very interesting about the religion. Oh, look, more sand. Awesome. Is that a desert biome? Oh, is that a desert? That'd be sweet. Is that their religion is actually a formation of two pantheons of gods formed into one. Now, the history is a little skewed depending on where you are, but basically you have the two sects of gods. One of them is the Aesir, I think the Aesirs, and the other one is the Vanir. Now, they got into a fight. The reason why they got into a fight, it's all based on speculation, because if there was any sort of formal history ever written, it was lost, and what we have is epic poems and tales, and then of course passed down stories. But many people feel that there was an older section of gods, and a newer sect of gods showed up and was like, yo, bitches, you guys are old, so we'll just go ahead and take over. And the old gods are like, fuck are you, assholes? And they started this big war, and of course, you know, they're gods. They can't really kill each other. So eventually they had to, like, form a truce. And some of the newer hip gods took off, and some of them stayed. And they became best friends, and they ruled over the world together. Now, what I found most interesting about this concept is that it introduced something that's never been introduced in any other religion that I've discovered up until that point. And that is, these gods, these new gods, or the Vanir, they came from somewhere else. They were not originally part of Nordic mythology. They were outside gods. And while that may not seem like that great of a discovery or that great of a revelation, I want you all to consider that no other religion, at least no mainstream religion out there, will acknowledge that there is any other gods out there. They may say, I am the one true God, but they most certainly don't say, I am the one true God out of all the other gods that preside out there, or that you must prescribe to me because the other gods are full of shit. None of them say that. All they say is, there's only me, and if you believe in anything else, then you've been lied to. And the Norse religion did not subscribe to that kind of mentality. They acknowledged that other gods existed, and they saw them as their enemies. Now, this can also be brought into the fact that the Vikings were often seen as horrible, barbaric warriors that would raid landscapes and rape and pillage. And while it is true that their methods were very brutal, and there's nothing pretty about a Viking raid party, I wouldn't say that they were any more or less brutal than any other raiding party that was going on out there at the time. But what I will say is that what made them terrifying, the Vikings that is that they wouldn't just rape and pillage and destroy the town. They would destroy religious centers too. And that was like a big no-no back in the day. Like, who the fuck goes and burns down churches and kills, like, intentionally kills, like, priests and stuff like that? Well, the Vikings do. And there was an actual reason why they did that. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about the Greek gods always fighting for the attention of humanity. And this isn't in any kind of text or anything. This is just purely my own thoughts and concepts on this topic. And that is, the gods need humanity. They need us. Why? Why do they need us? Well, they need us to believe in them. Well, why is that important, Noodle? Well, it's pretty simple if you think about it. We give gods power. And the more that we believe and prescribe and pray to them, the more powerful they get. And that in itself is a pretty cool concept if you really sit down and think about it. Because now all of a sudden the power isn't in the hands of the gods. We give the power to the gods. And I want to say that that's exactly why the Vikings did what they had to do. Because if you were going to go invade a land, you had to, one, believe that their gods were real. And two, had to know that your gods were better. Or at least stronger. And that's a very powerful concept if you think about it. To go ahead and acknowledge that different lands have different gods, that there's no one true god, but that each land has its own entity. That a pantheon doesn't cover the world. A pantheon covers your section of the world. And if you were to go and destroy your enemies, you would also have to destroy their gods. Well, the easiest way to destroy a god is if you had two samurais and they're all fucking decked out in armor, well, you have a little fucking ninja or assassin sneak by and fucking tear apart some of their armor. And how do you do that? By destroying their churches and killing their religious centers. By doing that, those gods then lose their worshippers and therefore lose their strength and their power, thus making them easier to kill in the afterlife. Nord Viking warriors and all that, they were doing what they had to do to survive. They did what they did to gain resources and supplies, but at the same time, they also led a holy war against others. By literally going in and killing the other gods, or making a means for their gods to go in and defeat their enemies easily. Now that is a fucking cool concept. As fucked up as it is, super cool concept if you think about it that way. Oh, hello. Who are you? What? No, that's me. Who are you? Oh, you want fish for money, huh? Get out of my way. Fishmonger. No! Get out of my way, fishmonger. You're gonna make me tear down this fucking wall, aren't you? Oh, God, I hate you so much. Stupid fishmonger. You're lucky you have a pickaxe. Stay in there. Hide in your tower. Bitch. Alright, so that in itself is a really cool concept if you think about it. Now, why is this important? Well, while I didn't necessarily follow the Nordic faith, it will play very heavily into my life later on. But what it did really was give me a whole different view on the world. See, this entire time I've been viewing religion as a one thing, that there has to be one answer, that there has to be one faith that I prescribe to. And I realized at that moment that the world isn't that cut and dry, that there's more to it, and that there's more than one faith. I had a friend of mine, I remember I told you that he was Mormon. I don't know if you actually remember me saying that, but he was Mormon, and he actually best described my viewpoint on religion. And it's funny that it came from a Mormon of all people. And it's funny that he also believed in this as well. And according to him, although I don't know how true this is, a lot of the Mormons that he knows also prescribes to this faith, and this is why they do what they do. He said that, imagine, if you will, that there is one God, okay? And imagine, if you will, that this God is so big and so powerful and so magnanimous that we as humans are unable to see God. Whether it's a him, her, they, doesn't matter, okay? Now, they're so fucking powerful and big that we can't physically see them. That's why we don't see God. However, God was like, I got this. I know how to fix this. So he created a giant mirror. And through this mirror, we can see the true reflection of God. Well, that's very poetic in and of itself. Now, as he cast this mirror down to earth, the mirror shattered into 1,000 pieces. And like humanity grabbed what pieces of it that they could, and each person claimed that their piece of the mirror was the true reflection of God. But that's not really true. You're only seeing a small portion of God, or a skewed reflection of it. And it's not until you piece that mirror back together that you actually see what God really is. And when he told me that, it blew my fucking mind. That's exactly what I thought. He just said it way more eloquently than I ever could. And it was just amazing that that concept existed. And I thought to myself, if this is true, let's just say, for example, let's fit that into my fucking religious equation. If it's true, then that means that if these other gods, if there are other gods in the world, then they must exist. And if they must exist, then that means that they must be true. And that must mean that they're all part of the same equation, that they're all the same. It's just that we worship them all a little bit differently. We call them different names. And at the same time, I also wanted to believe that if this, let's just say this train of logic is true, that there are different gods and that they aren't all the same entity, then why can't all the gods be true? Why can't the Greek gods live right alongside of Roman gods and right alongside the Egyptian pantheons and live right alongside of everybody else, the Nords, and I just made this too high, the Nords and the Aztecs and Native American shamanism? Why can't these all be true where they originated from? So then that got me thinking, well, oh shit, man of the hour. Man of the hour right here, folks. All right, so if that is true, then maybe I'm looking in the wrong spot for my gods. Maybe my gods have been here all... I'm doing it again. Maybe my gods have been here all along. Which means that perhaps... Oh, what the hell? Strike. Strike, what are you doing? Join server. What's he doing? Oh no! Strike, don't fuck up my rant. Don't do it. Strike! Strike! You asshole. Refresh. Refresh. What? How are there two people in there? Refresh. Strike! Let me in. Don't be a dick. Oh my god. I just want to record. God, he is such an asshole. Log in. There he goes. I think we got it. Okay. Jesus fuck. Okay. All right. So I can't believe I did. Oh, it kind of reset a little bit. Okay. Okay. So that means my gods were here all along. I just didn't know where to look. So I started thinking, if the gods are in the lands of their respective owners, then I need to find out who is the gods of my land. And I live in America. Well, the oldest gods in America are Native American shamanism. And I thought, well, how appropriate. that I should also be partially Native American myself. And so we should prescribe to this faith and give it a shot and see where it takes us. So, did I? Okay. So, so I started studying. Native American religion. I started studying like shamanism and stuff like that, and it's very cool how they really intertwine magic in with their faith, and it's not necessarily like hocus pocus magic, but it's a different kind of magic. It's a kind of magic that was much different than anything I could have conceived or perceived of. I don't know. It was just really, really cool. It was really eye-opening. But unfortunately, it did nothing for me, and I was back to square one. I didn't feel anything when I was studying Native American shamanism. I felt nothing. I felt hollow and empty, and I didn't feel any better than when I was worshiping Zeus. Like it was a real fucking downer, is what it was, and it was just a fucking shame. And well, how can I put this? So I kind of abandoned it, but at the same time, it did leave that impression that maybe these pantheons are right, and at the same time, maybe the location of the gods is important. And then I started delving into mysticism, magic, and I started looking it up. And a friend of mine was like, "Oh, well, if you want to learn about magic, you should just do fucking Satanism, because that's all fucking black magic and blah blah blah." And I know he was just being a fucking jackass, but I was like, "Well, maybe you actually have a point, sir. Maybe I should be looking into this." So yes, Noodle dabbled in Satanism for a little while, but you have to remember that, like, for the longest time, I didn't have access. There was no internet. I mean, come on, it still was like in very babby form at this point, and the only form of Satanism that you would find is bullshit teenagers who were like trying to sacrifice babies in graveyards or kill cats in graveyards, and life is death, and I want misery for my enemies, and just fucking emo bullshit. And I knew that couldn't be right. In the very beginning of my rants, I've said this before, I know I have. You're fucking retarded if you worship Satan. And that's all these fucking little groups were, people who fucking worship Satan. And that's kind of like what I told you guys before, that Satanism isn't worshiping Satan, it's worshiping the ideology of freedom, of being free. I probably shouldn't do that. Is being free of control and rulership of God, and that anybody can be God, and you could be your own God, so why not? Very powerful concepts indeed, and they did have a little bit of magic, but it more just kind of led me to the occult. I say I dabbled in Satanism, but it was more like I studied it for like a week or so, and it just wasn't for me, because I was going back to square one. I would have to believe in God, and I knew that having one true God and one source of evil didn't make sense, so I just kind of abandoned it. But it did lead me to the occult, where I was studying ghosts and specters and magic in all of its forms, good and bad. And I came upon a concept that having black magic or evil magic is fucking stupid. There's no difference between good magic and bad magic. The only difference is how you use it. I could put a curse on you to be thinner and you would die. But at the same time, I could put a fucking spell on you and you would become thinner and look better. It's the extent of which you use the magic and the purpose in which it is used for. I think that's what I meant to say. So I started looking into religions that were tolerant of magic, and lo and behold, I found what I thought was my perfect religion. I had a book from the library, and it talked about it, and I was super stoked. How long do I got? I got like 43 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop my alarm before it even goes off. I found the perfect religion for me, and it was everything that I wanted. It was a duality, a god of duality, but it encompassed every god that was out there, every pantheon, and basically you kind of worshipped a god and a goddess, and they each were, you know, representative of male and female characteristics in humanity. It was a mirror reflection of who we were. Jesus, look at all those zombies. Dude, they're just fucking swarming out there. Okay, so like it was a duality concept, and then like more importantly, like it encompassed everything that I wanted, and it was called Druidism. Now some of you out there are like, that's not Druidism. I'll get to that in the next video. For now, I think we're done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me during this story. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm not rambling too goddamn much. And I hope, oh shit, I hope you guys are starting to see like where my story's going. It's going to wrap up here pretty soon. I'm going to get into it, and we should be finished maybe by the next video. So thank you once again for any likes or comments that you leave. I do read them all. I do appreciate them. I think that you guys interacting with me in general is just a cool concept. Look, I have a crafting table here. No need to go anywhere. So, yeah, when we come back, we're going to go ahead and finish off this this tower. We're almost done. We got to add the flare on the outside. We got to add the little steeple thing up top. But I think I have all my supplies with me, and I think we're almost done. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. I already said that. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and finish that, and we'll go ahead and finish my story. So, we will catch you all on the next video. Peace out.